So we've seen the announcement of the 2023 roadmap for Hell Let Loose, and it is looking really, really good. We're getting new factions, new maps, new modes, a tutorial system, and some more stuff. And it's really cool. It is probably one of the best looking roadmaps I've seen for Hell Let Loose. But we are missing some things from the 2021-2022 roadmap, which can be considered pretty big things that are missing. And we're going to go over them in this video. So first off is the campaign mode. Now, many people thought that this campaign mode may be like a single player mode, like a storyline or something, but really what I think this is going to be is something more like Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, where after each level or map you play, it then goes to like a world map view and you pretty much vote on which area you want to attack or defend from next. And there's this like big overall meta where you have like supplies, which determines how many reinforcements you get, and victory points. I think pretty much that was what the campaign mode was going to be, but it's completely missing from the 2023 roadmap. Instead, we get two new modes called Skirmish and Objective, which are smaller scale, more fast-paced modes, which I think are better than this campaign mode, because really the campaign mode, it didn't bring really a new mode. It was just like another layer on top of what would have been offensive and warfare, but instead we get these two new modes which should hopefully play differently and bring more variation to Hell Let Loose. So trading campaign for Objective and Skirmish I think's pretty good, to be honest, but if they were to bring campaign back in down the line, yeah, I'm kind of still all up for it. Next are new commander abilities. There's no mention of that. Now there are some other things that I will talk about that are missing, but they may put these under like quality of life and some other of the general sort of points they've made in the 2023 roadmap, but since they were specifically mentioned in the previous roadmap, I feel that if they were coming, they should have been like formally put in that roadmap. But yeah, no new commander abilities. They did say quite a while ago that they wanted to bring more unique abilities to each faction to make them a little bit more different, but I guess plans for that have been shelved. Next are the Soviet anti-tank structures. No mention of that. There's also been no mention of what these structures were ever going to be. They were going to be buildable things to help the Soviets with just defending against tanks because, you know, let's face it, their loadouts are a little bit weaker. Yes, they've just recently got the bazooka, so maybe because they've got the bazooka now, they're scrapping this anti-tank structures thing that they were going to add in. But no mention of that. A little bit of a disappointment, but it's kind of okay in my point of view. But next, a big one that is missing from the 2023 roadmap, deployable mortars. Where are they? Are they coming? I think there were some people that were hoping that when mortars would come into the game, that changes would be made to artillery. A lot of people are looking forward to mortars, so it's disappointing to see them not mentioned at all in the 2023 roadmap. Again, they could probably put this under the free DLC thing, but since it was mentioned in the previous roadmap, it should be in 2023, but I think we can probably consider it as axed. Also missing is the AA flat cannon deployable. Now, many people, I think myself included, was questioning why this was coming to the game since there's no controllable planes. Yes, you could put an AA flat cannon deployed down to try and take out the planes that would come in and put in the bomb and runs, supply drops and airheads, but I don't think these really would have been used a lot since the planes do fly in pretty quick and you would have to try and like redeploy back to where you built one or try and build it close to the front line to actually get use out of it. I don't think this would have been used a lot, so axing it, or I guess potentially axing it from the plans, is okay with me. But also seemingly gone is their heavy MG deployable. I think they should still keep trying to put this into the game because it's going to add that extra variation of weaponry, mainly for the MG loadouts, but I guess it's gone from their plans. It's a little disappointing. I barely play the machine gunner role, and when I do, it's more likely using the BAR from the American loadout. I'm just not an MG player. I don't like setting up my bipod and sitting in one position for a bit. I like to move around a bit more. But for MG players, I'm guessing a lot of you guys were looking forward to having some bigger firepower. The party system seems to have been axed as well. I'm pretty sure on consoles there already is like a party system where you can group up in the main menu before joining the game. I'm pretty sure that's right, but on PC that doesn't exist. But on PC we do have the server browser, so it's easier to get into servers with your friends. So maybe this was going to be like trying to bring a matchmaking system to PC where you could create a group in the main menu, you know, a party, and then try to matchmake into a server that would actually have no queue, so you could all just get in at once. But yeah, whatever it was going to be, it looks like it's gone. There's no mention of the Flak Panzer as well, and the Flak Panzer is an anti-aircraft tank for the Germans. It was used as anti-infantry as well, but it, like everything else I've talked about, it was mentioned on the previous roadmap and now it's not on this one. Doesn't specifically mean that it's not going to come, because with the British, Polish and Finnish forces, there's going to be new weapons and new vehicles that come. So maybe they're just not putting it on, like, visibly on the roadmap, but it is still coming. But that would be strange because, yeah, like everything else, it was on the previous roadmap, but I think we can probably consider that gone. On the previous roadmap, there was mentioned a bridge map, which was Remagen, with 2 additional Eastern Front maps. We've got one, which is Kharkov, but we haven't got the next one. And because on the roadmap, there's really no specific mention of other maps apart from the Battle of Danzig, a lot of people are taking that as there's going to be no new maps with the British and the Finnish forces, but there will be, because they're not going to put these factions into maps where they didn't actually, you know, take part in. So I do still expect this Eastern Front map to come, and maybe this other Eastern Front map is going to be part of the Winter War, because I guess technically you could say that is the Eastern Front. There are some other specific things not mentioned on the 2023 roadmap, such as scoped optic improvements, custom LEDs for various buildings and assets, but I think these will fall under the quality of life improvements for the game. Now for me, I think the biggest loss from these missing roadmap points from the previous roadmap, I think, is probably the deployable mortars out of all of them, because I think those mortars would have had the biggest impact on the moment-to-moment gameplay, instead of, you know, putting the campaign mode in, which really would still just be playing warfare and offensive. I don't think the anti-tank structures for the Soviets would have been like used a hell of a lot, and especially the AA flak cannon deployable, I don't think that would have been built a lot. Flak Panzer, I think that would have been used, but really, since there's a limited amount of vehicles you can spawn in, why would you put in a Flak Panzer instead of a heavy or a medium tank? Because that Flak Panzer will just get demolished by any other tank. So I think that tank would have seen like less and less usage throughout the game. But let me know what you're missing from the previous roadmap out of the points I've raised. If you missed my breakdown of the 2023 roadmap, you can check it out right here. Give this video a like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.